In this exercise, you will not be doing any building, but instead you will take a look at some testing strategies at a design level. In this demonstration process, we want you to use the activity guide to walk around the process and see how a node data start shape and multiple inbound components can be used for different levels of testing. We also want you to see all the log and notifications that are written to review what is going on in the process. So to follow along, you'll need your activity guide, and we will be on pages 1 and 2. And let's jump right into the platform. And just to keep things organized here, I'll encourage you to add a new folder here under ARC2. And this is our third section, testing strategies. And save. And we'll browse the process library. Remember to filter your results. You can enter ARC2 in the search bar here. And we'll be installing testing strategies Activity 2 Master and click Install. And we'll choose the directory we just created and view the process. And so from here, we don't really need to do anything except to observe a number of testing strategies. You can configure this, so if you want to run it, and simply select the Boomi Training SF connection. And save that. And we want to be able to point out a few interesting features of this test scenario. So it starts off with a no data start shape, which means an empty document will be sent down the path. And then we have a number of connectors on the canvas with different test scenarios. So this no data start shape makes it easy for you to disconnect and reconnect to a different test scenario. Now, if you take a peek at these, you'll see that they get progressively more complicated. So this one is just some flat text. This is a Salesforce query. This one is a Salesforce query that has a filter attached to it as well. So it's just searching on name, and it provides the parameter for that as well, just a static parameter. And then the final source is a static XML. So just by viewing the test sources, you can tell that there are a number of different tests that you could operate. So we have a flat file, which would require a flat file profile, and we have an XML file as well. So depending on how you connect, this process will either work or break. The set test property shape simply captures a value from the XML profile and can be used further downstream. And at the end here, we have the two sub-processes, one for testing the data and one for catching any errors, and we'll take a look at both of those in a moment. But the handy feature about these is that we could create other sub-processes and quickly detach these and attach a different sub-process if we ever needed to test different functionality. Next, let's open the subcomponents to take a look there as well. So you will see here that the sub starts out with a try-catch shape. The try-catch will catch any process level errors, and if there are any errors do occur, they will write it to the error cache. Now, the other sub is simply a dump of that error cache, so any errors that are caught can be retrieved from the cache and written to this notify shape. So that's the try-catch. Here is a map to transform the data and then two branches to traverse. The top branch will do some information processing specific probably to that business use case, but there is something interesting to note here on branch 2, which has this decision shape of write log. And if you open up to examine, you will see that it uses an extended process property to check whether debugging is on or off, and if it is on, then it writes a message to the user log. So this is a useful strategy to be able to have debug turned on in particular environments and turned off in other environments. Now that we've taken a tour of the process, you can poke around yourself and you can try and run at different connectors. Just keep in mind that some of these will not work correctly. and some of them will, but feel free to poke around and examine more of this process.